Welcome back to the show where we run you through all the Dolphins news you need to know about. After you through the news you need to know about, we run through the fan Q&A where we answer fans' questions. Excuse me. Not a ton to talk about, mostly injury news. In terms of news, no trade deadline updates. Obviously the trade deadline is coming soon. Some Dolphins fans seem to be concerned about that, maybe, or not concerned, but excited about it. The Chase Claypool thing came out of nowhere. Maybe another one comes out of nowhere. I know a lot of Dolphins fans want another piece on defense, whether it's a middle linebacker or a corner, especially with some of the injuries that we've sustained. And if Xavier Howard is out for 2 weeks, then like some people are reporting, that's not confirmed. It doesn't seem to be likely. Obviously, he's dealing with a groin. But if that happens, then I don't know how the Dolphins don't at least look into it to get some secondary help. Sorry, excuse me. But this first news story comes from Pro Football Rumors, and I'm sure we'll, just to clean up on the Xavier Howard thing, I'm sure we'll get clarification of that on Wednesday. And also, I just want to throw in there, Connor Williams, no real update on that. Obviously, he was dealing with some stuff last week and missed the Carolina game. Does seem to be trending in the right direction, though, which is good. But this first news story comes from Pro Football Rumors. I'm sure everybody knows this. Devon Achane was placed on IR. He will be eligible to return in Week 11 after the bye week. Another Dolphin rumored to return after the bye week is Jalen Ramsey. Sam Madison obviously came out and said this, and again, this comes from Pro Football Rumors and Adam Schefter. Adam Schefter reported that Ramsey is far ahead of schedule and that a return by Week 11 is possible. Some people have reported he may practice this week. That doesn't look like it's going to happen, but maybe it does. But Week 11, I think, is a nice, I think, spot to kind of look like a legitimate hope that Dolphins fans can have. Like, oh, he could actually come back in Week 11. It makes a lot of sense. Obviously, it was reported that he was running in the tunnel. I believe that was after the Giants game. But we desperately need him back. The defense is playing really good, especially up front. Sorry, guys. I think that's the strongest. I think the most surprising thing is the safety play opposite Holland has been pretty good. But I think the strongest part of the defense has definitely been the defensive linemen, especially as of late. I mean, they're top 3 in sacks. I think they're number 1 in quarterback hits in the NFL right now. Unfortunately, Bradley Chubb just kind of keeps getting... He always gets a lot... He gets pressures every week, but he had a sack that was called back against Carolina. Seems like every time he's about to get a sack, something stupid happens. I feel bad for Bradley because I think he's actually having a good season. He hasn't gotten as lucky with some of the sacks, but the sacks are coming. And I can see the weaknesses of the defense is obviously the opposite side of Xavier Howard. I think X has actually had a really good season, but if they miss X, if X leaves for 2 weeks, then obviously Cam Smith is going to get playing time, which I think we all want. But that's a big blow to the defense. They're already dealing with a lot of issues. That's the biggest weakness is Eli Apple is the weakest link on the defense right now. I think David Long's playing better. I think Jerome Baker's playing better. Those guys are going to get better and play good football. It's the opposite side of X that I think I'm not really sure is going to get better. I don't think Eli Apple is the answer at that position. I would have much, like I've said, and I think everybody has thought this, much rather saw Cam Smith play. And not playing him earlier in the year sucks because now it's like it's even tougher. As the year goes on, it becomes increasingly more tough to play him. Especially when you get into like December football. But hopefully we won't need him by that time. But yeah, corner is definitely, I think, the weakest part of the defense currently. And I would say Eli Apple has not been playing very good football. You can definitely... He's made some good plays, but I think he's definitely the weakest part of it. So if the rumors are true and the reports are true, from Adam Schefter. If he could come back after the bye, that's massive. And if X is healthy by then as well, this defense, I think, still has so much left. Like, it's not put together yet. And it's still number one in quarterback hits and third in sacks. I'm sorry if you can hear the pugs in the background. Third in sacks without those guys. So when Jalen comes back, I think this defense can really become something special. But, I think you'll see more aggressive coverages from the defense as well. But it's nice to see the linebackers play better because they were playing not so great, in the weeks prior. So it's nice to see them getting better. So yeah, hopefully we can get those guys back as soon as possible. If it is after the bye, then that's fine. The sooner the better. I'm very excited to see Jalen as a Miami Dolphin. A lot of the passion that Tyreek Hill brings to the offense, like you saw the first catch over the middle that really got the offense going, that got a spot like 2 midfield against Carolina. Like, he brings a certain energy to the team on that side of the football. And I think Jalen can do the same thing for the defense. So I'm excited to get him back. And A-Chain is another one. It sucks to not have in the lineup. But Raheem Mostert is playing phenomenal football. I don't think that there's any more news. I just want to be sure. And again, definitely keep your eyes peeled for the trade deadline. I would not be surprised if the Dolphins, especially if Xavier's hurt, if the Dolphins don't make a move at some point. Jeff Wilson, I forgot to bring this up. Jeff Wilson seems to be coming back relatively soon to the lineup. Chris Brooks, who got injured in the game against Carolina, let me make sure about this, which was super unfortunate because everybody, I think, in the Dolphins community loves Chris Brooks. And he had a really awesome game. It doesn't seem like we have like a super concrete. I mean, he was taken off by a cart. Super concrete. It says Chris is week to week, from Mike McDaniel said. So again, not super concrete on Chris Brooks. So the running back depth isn't great as of right now. So Jeff Wilson coming back is pretty huge. I think that's it for the news and the injury news. So let's get into the game itself. The Dolphins will end up defeating the Carolina Panthers 42-21. I'm going to start on the defensive side of the football. There's one major thing that I think offenses do to this team every week. And the Chargers started it. And it's having some sort of action, whether it's like a fake bubble screen to the right or an orbit motion, doing some kind of fake something on the left or right side, and then handing the ball up the middle of the field. I don't know why every team has literally done that same thing that we've played this year, and it really, for whatever reason, the defense has a really tough time defending it. I don't know, and I would have to go back and look at these plays. I don't know why. I don't know if the linebackers are vacating the area because of the motion and it becomes a ladder box, or what the problem is, but it's something that the defense needs to clean up, because that is something consistently we've seen in literally every game that they have to fix, because it's been getting the opposing team chunk plays, and that's something Carolina really abused in the first half of this game. They really never could go back to it because the game got blown wide open. But it was a problem in this game again. Some other observations, like I said, David Long. I think David Long and Jerome, and this is the most comfortable I think I've seen the defense all year in the system, which is good, and especially from the middle linebacker position. The playing Zach Sealer and Christian Wilkins at defensive end more, which started against the Giants, and they did it a lot in this game. I think has really helped the run defense. And Christian Wilkins, pretty good at that, more of like a traditional defensive end position. I think he had 2 sacks in this game. So he brings. You're not losing anything from the pass rushing department when he does that. And he's very, very athletic, so you don't lose much at that position. Nothing really else other than the whole Eli Apple thing. Gave up some receptions. He gave up the biggest receptions in the game, and was attacked consistently, which is another thing that teams have done. Anytime a lot of teams try to get their best player, and you saw that against the Giants a lot. They'll try to move him to their side because Xavier doesn't follow anybody, and obviously that was a huge deal in the Bills game. He's not following anybody, so teams put their best playmaker on the other side of him. This is another reason why we need Jalen Ramsey, and that's been a consistent theme throughout the season. That happened in the Giants game. They attacked Eli Apple with Darren Waller, and that happened in this game, where they tried to do that with DJ Chark, and Adam Thielen not so much. That was more in the slot, but they tried. Every team has done that to us so far this year, and that's something, again, when Jalen Ramsey comes back, will not be a factor. So it just lessens the ways, and it's not really Vic's fault, and I think Vic's gotten some blame for that. It's literally, I mean, what else is he supposed to do? I guess he could tell Xavier to follow people, or I don't know. And I think they did do a better job of double teaming on that side. Another observation defensively, I think they all are getting more comfortable. The thing that just makes me mad is that how does Perry Nickerson get significant snaps, especially in the slot in this game, but Cam Smith can't get playing time? That doesn't make sense to me. I don't know, and I know they don't want to play him in the slot. I don't know why. I don't know what's going on with that. It just kind of frustrates me a little bit. He did get snaps at the end of this game in garbage time. Maybe they're planning on playing him more, but it's just like, man, we drafted him in the second round for a reason. Perry Nickerson is someone we picked up in the middle of preseason. So I don't know what's going on with that. But yeah, defensively looked a lot better, especially the front. It looks really good. And even Vic spoke upon that, where he was like, Christian Wilkins kind of in a funk early in the year, and you could tell, and it hurt the defense because of that. And he's definitely fully back, especially after this game. So I think those are some of the things. Offensively, I mean, what else can we say offensively? It's been pretty impressive. One of the things that I think is pretty, the accountability that was shown after the Dolphins got down 14. You could see the leaders on the team, whether it was Raheem Mostert or David Long Jr. on the defensive side of the ball, or Tyreek Hill, or even Tua. You could see how animated they were, and got back into and really kind of willed the team back into the game. And Mike McDaniel said after the game that was like, those are like what winning teams do. And I haven't seen anything like that in many years, and I don't think in a Dolphins game especially. And the confidence to go down 14, I think as a fan, and I wasn't concerned that they could, like, in past years you're like, okay, well, this is just another. There's many games I could point out, whether that was the Jaguars in 2014 or 2013, or the Jets at the end of the year in 2013. You can point out a lot of games where the Dolphins let the fan base down after strong weeks of play against lesser teams, and they didn't do that in this game. I think that's a big deal. And offensively, I think the biggest difference between last year and this year is the run game is just significantly better. Obviously, that's pretty obvious. And the offensive line has just been tremendous. And Raheem Mostert really has been that third guy that the Dolphins can legitimately lean on to be a playmaker. And that's something they didn't have last year. It was very inconsistent who was going to step up and be that third option in the offense. And this year it's been very consistent. Raheem Mostert has been consistently that third option, that third playmaking guy. And he was a huge factor in this game, especially getting the momentum back in the game with that run he had that went down the sideline. So He's just really been that consistent third option on the offense, and it's been a big difference. And again, I have said it from week to week, this team is really good. It's a blessing to watch them, especially as Dolphins fans. You appreciate this because, and I'm sure everybody is, but this is something the Dolphins haven't done in over 20 years. They started season 5-1. This is an offense that is historically great, not just in Dolphins history, but in the history of the NFL, and that's something special. And this defense is going to get better. They have to get healthier. Teams are going to continue to attack them the same way they have been for the first 6 weeks of the season. Like we just talked about it. Get your best playmaker on the other side of Xavier Howard. Has been the game plan, and for whatever reason, these motions on runs have really affected the team for some reason. I don't know why, but hopefully that's something that they can clean up a little bit. But I think the biggest issue on the team right now, literally, is who can we get to play opposite Xavier, and we need to get healthier in that position. Maybe they make a move at the trade deadline. Hopefully X isn't hurt against the Philadelphia Eagles because of the, obviously, A.J. Brown and Devontae Smith. That's the biggest reason. And even, just playing as just I think the biggest weakness of the team is who's playing defensive back opposite him. And it's gotten us in a lot of trouble this year in certain times, in certain moments in games, and especially against the Bills. But next time we play Buffalo, we're going to have Jalen Ramsey, which is awesome. And I think Jalen's going to make a significant impact on the team when he comes back. Not only from his ability, but I think his presence and what he brings from an emotional standpoint, just like what Tyreek Hill does for the offense. I think he can do that for the defense. But that's it, guys. Blessing of a year. It's been phenomenal watching this team. Cannot express enough how special it is to see a quarterback and Tua go down 14 points and score 42. Obviously, he didn't score the last touchdown, but to see him not panic and calm down the entire team, and just a quarterback hasn't done that since Dan Marino in Miami, and I cannot stress how much of a blessing it is to have a great quarterback in Miami after all of these years, and it's phenomenal, and a great head coach in Mike McDaniel. It finally happened after many years of misery. But that's it, ladies and gentlemen. Hope you guys enjoyed, and I'll see you guys in the next one.